Welcome to the real world. It sucks to be an architect, but only for the time being. After graduation, there are generally two directions architects take. They become an employee and work for someone else, or they start their own studio. Whatever the case might be, the architectural sensibilities are put to the test fairly quickly, as one is asked to work on things that they don't feel really comfortable with. Like I said before, welcome to the real world, where there are many chances to create a reputation as an ordinary architect, but only one chance to create your reputation as an excellent architect. Unfortunately, only a handful of us are going to be in the second group. That is the absolute truth, I'm sorry to say. But the rest of us will settle for nice cars and homes and a comfortable lifestyle perhaps. But probably architectural history will forget to mention you, and you will fade into obscurity. However, if you want to be in the second group of people, where honestly I would also like to be in, I will try to convince you to follow these 5 things that you can do to become a better architect today. Over the years, I've realized only a handful of people have made it to the top architects list in the world. With the benefit of hindsight, however, we can deconstruct what worked for them and learn from it. Based partially on my research and mostly on my hubris, I've come up with a structured decision-making framework that can help ordinary architects become a little better. Number 1. Do less. Well, architecture is a profession that gradually builds on what you do over the years. In other words, it's a cumulative result of all the work that you have been putting in over the last few years. Once you put something on the ground that sucks, it will follow you like a ghost for the rest of your life. A project generally takes a long time to get built. For example, it will take 2 years to build and realize the mistakes that you've made. In the meantime, you would have been doing several other projects, repeating the same mistakes over and over again. By the time you stop making those mistakes, it will have been repeated in a lot of other projects already. When in doubt, follow that rule. Number 2, charge more. Being cheap is not a viable business model if you want to do good work. If you don't know how to set up resources for a project, let me know in the comments below. I can make a video on that perhaps. All projects have to be resourced properly at the start, meaning people have to work on it and people have to get paid for it. Good design often means going through several variations and eliminating them progressively to reach the best possible solution for that set of problems. And that requires more time, in other words, money. As an equation then, good design is equal to more time, is equal to more money, is equal to less projects, is equal to better designs. Keep that in mind. Number 3, learn to say no. Never ever estimate the power of saying no. Saying no doesn't mean that you're being ungrateful. It actually means saying yes to the right things. When you will develop a healthy habit of saying yes to the things that you love and live for, you will automatically learn to say no to things that are against your principles. Number 4, collaborate with other architects. Get over your high horse and start sharing your spoils with other architects. By collaborating on projects with others, new workflows and practices can really help give the practice a boost. When you start working together to find the best possible solutions to problems that satisfy both parties, your ego takes a back seat and you often end up creating new connections in your head. Take that step right now and invite an architect you admire to help you with the project today. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Number 5, don't work with shitty clients. I'm sorry, there is no better way of putting this. Not all clients are created equal. Be very selective of who you decide to work with, because it is very important to respect the people that you're working with. As a general rule, if there is any lack of respect from either party, it's always advisable to walk away from the project and try to connect the architect to another architect that you might think can get along with the client. Toxic relationships breed negativity. That's a wrap. Hey guys, this is more of a free flow session. Thank you for watching so far. The idea of the video was not to hurt anyone's feelings, although I know when I said don't work with shitty clients, I meant toxic people in toxic relationships. Well, the whole idea is that not everyone who's doing work out there is doing good work, and there is definitely a demand for bad work out there. So the clients were not informed, and they look for architects as enablers of their bad ideas. So the point of this video was to just sort of reach out and try to inspire some of you to become part of the second group of architects who are more empowered, who would like to nurture their clients, educate them to a certain degree, without being condescending, because it's not their job to know about architecture. But since they're putting in their hard-earned cash to build something, it is your responsibility as an architect to make sure they understand what they're getting into. That's number one. I do believe that if you're providing good solutions, you will create a demand for good solutions out there, because there are people out there who are doing less work or little work, but they're doing quality work. Of course, when you talk about quality, good, bad, there's certain parameters that come in, objective opinions sort of surface to the top, and then people sort of get up and say, like, who are you to decide what good or bad is? But I think as architects, there are certain universal principles that should be applied. Functionally speaking, a building cannot be bad. Egress, ingress, all these things have to be sorted out. Accessibility, circulations, and all these things, these are not objective things. These are very specific things. It's function related. That's one aspect of it. The other aspect is the city. The context defines how good the building is in the end. I do like to go in to a project and explore everything. You're mining for information, for data, for these points. When you're going into a project, you dive head first. Once you have all the information in front of you, then you are in a position to take better decisions for that specific project, mind you, and develop a process based on the context, based on the client, based on the project, and not just because something that you would like to do. So what I've been guilty of in the past is that whenever I would learn something new to do on a software, I would try to implement that as part of the design and just sort of force it. So when I was trying to understand Grasshopper, I would do parametric shapes just for the heck of it, although it had absolutely nothing to do with the solution, as in the architecture. So anyway, before I go on a longer rant, thank you very much for watching, and just keep striving to be that smaller group of architects who are there to do little work, fewer buildings, fewer houses, fewer homes, but better things. Cheers. New workflows and thinking patterns can... What the fuck?